Hi everyone, welcome back to my channel and another video, very short video on growing good bonsai stock. This is not about picking a front, checking the roots or anything like that, about putting in a bonsai pot, anything like that. It's actually about how to grow good stock for the future. Now, a lot of people who start out in bonsai have, probably I call them straight trunks or not much movement in the trunk. It's very straight, very not to say boring, but there's no real interest and excitement in the trunk movement and not much character. I like twisty, gnarly trees that have got lots of twists and bends in them and so on. So you need to develop that over time. So it's not about picking the right front now. We don't know where the front is on this little guy. It's a young cutting that I might have taken probably 3 years ago, I think, and you can see some nice big heavy aluminium wire on this tree. It's just any old aluminium wire, but it's nice and heavy. Now I've put in already some bends into it, as you can probably see there, nice and close. So you can see heavy wire bent up the tree, and you can see some already bends in it. Otherwise that would have been pretty much straight tree. Just like you can see these guys here. See these nice branches here? They're very boring and ugly. Most likely people start out with, just little sticks like that. You've got to get bends into your trees early. The earlier you do it, the better. I could have done this a bit earlier, but I'm confident I can even put more bends into this trunk here. Just with, slowly tweaking it over time, you can bend that trunk more. But what I want to show you also, you've seen in previous videos, is how I twist these guys up to create more interest in the tree. Because you know what? Maybe one of these guys will be the future of the tree. It doesn't necessarily have to be the main trunk it is of right now. Could be one of these branches, could be the future. So this is about growing good bonsai stock for the future, which is I like to always do, because you always got stuff to play with later on. It's good to have lots of trees. I think that's my opinion, especially when you're learning and you're developing, and then you start to really understand which trees you like and what works and what doesn't. So this video is about just growing good bonsai stock for the future. And as you know, in previous videos, I love my Shimpakus, and I've designed them over the years in this kind of style. So let's get cracking. So what I'll try and do now is just actually put some more bends into the trunk with this wire. So it is just a matter of playing around and trying to twist. Use two hands always. You can use pliers as well to bend the wire, but I like to just use my hands. It controls the tree a bit more. So I'm trying to get some more interest and compactness into the tree. Now I have wired, this was the original apex that was probably up here. It's been compressed right down, twisted and bent, and now on the apex here it's looking a little straight, so I want to get some more bends into that. So that should be easy enough to twist and bend back. Yeah, so it goes down pretty well. Goes down interest, comes back on itself, and bends around. Cool. So it's compact more now. It's come back in. It was up a bit more out here. Now it's come down and twisted up. So what I'm planning to do is wire these guys and give them some bends and twists, and wire these two guys and give them some bends and twists, and see what happens over time. Now, I don't cut anything. I let the leaders, these tips, grow and go as fast as we can, as long as we can, because that will set the bends and interest in the future. What I'll try and do is try and imagine something with the tree, so try and think of, some interest in the tree. Maybe there's some nice curves in this. Where could these ones end up being? Do they go with the tree and with the flow, or do they go against it? These could eventually develop into deadwood and gins, and you can make them really interesting twisting dead pieces of wood. So that'll be nice. But let's have a go and just wire these up and see how we go. So I'll wire these two together, and I'll wire these two together with one wire, and just bend and twist it. I'm not fussed with how I wire this tree. I always use aluminium for these kind of big bends. So it's just a matter of getting the wire on, getting it nice and firm, and just putting those twists and bends into the tree. So I always probably gauge that's thicker than you need, because I want to set the branch and not worry about it being knocked and moved and and moved around, etc. So start off with some nice heavy wire. Just get some wire on. As long as it's nice and heavy enough to bend and set the branch. I try and do almost the thickness of the branch I'm trying to bend. Different varies for different people. Yeah. Because I know once I set this, once I bend it in place, it's going to stay there. Ain't going to move anytime soon. No, I know you've seen videos of this before. I've done similar things before, but just want to show you, just repeat the process. Growing good bonsai stock is critical for the future. You need to grow good stock. You can't just have sticks in pots, as I call them. Got to have twisting. I like twisting trees. I like interesting trees. The sooner you get, the sooner you get the tree, the seedlings, you grow things from seed or cutting or anything, just try and get, as soon as they're starting to grow and got some woodiness to the trunk or branch, you start to wire up and twist. Now, I've seen there's been lots of questions about, when do you do this, when do you start, you just do it. Do it anytime. It's interesting when you got time. I'm doing this in autumn at the moment. I've got no problems doing this now at this time of year. So, yeah. So I've got these two wired up. Now it's just, as you've seen before, I try and go with the way I wired the tree. So the direction of the wire that I wired. I don't go against it because it could break the branch and tree and ruin, obviously, this branch. So all I've done is twisted it back against where the trunk is originally. So put it back down, twisting around, up. Maybe I'll get this one to go in the direction this way. Okay, so that's really nice and compacted down, nice and tight. Remember it was up here, now it's really tight and small. Over time I actually would compress that even a bit more, let this set for a week, come back in a week's time and do some more interesting twists. This guy, I think I want the tree to flow this way. So I'm going to try and do that and put these branches in a way that they'll come that way, go that way. But you never know, might work, might not. Actually, might get this one to go the other way to balance the tree. You never know, it could work in the future. It could be a different look. It's very easy to bend this when you've got thick enough wire on the tree. So there you go. So there's a nice, interesting curve and comes out this way. You never know, it could be something in there that we can play with in the future. Now there are these younger guys in here that I will just leave alone. Maybe they'll be growing, they'll grow next year and we've got to wire them up as well. So I'll just wire the things that are big enough to wire and twist. So that's got some twists. See how it's much more compact now. The tree's not out here, it's much more closer in. This will grow and fatten up, and then we look at it again in a year's time, for example. Hey, oh yeah, that's a nice looking branch. We might keep that, might develop it a bit more, might work on that. So now I'll wire these two guys up. Similar process. This guy's just big enough to wire. Just. You could leave it a little bit longer, but I think it's early enough to do it. I mean, I work on Shimpakus, as you can see. I've also done this to another video, my black pine. It's just stock material that you're just developing for the future. And that's where you're meant to remember. Sometimes not everything has to be in a bonsai pot. Not everything has to be styled and ready in the one day, in one demonstration. You know, I only do that kind of stuff when I really am making a choice about the tree and it's ready for a pot, or you know, you wanna develop that. You want to actually put it in a bonsai pot, start really ramifying and working on it. Then you do like a proper full styling of the tree. Pick the front, pick everything, look at the roots. You know, you want to do all that, demonstrate proper work on the tree. This is about, yeah, developing stock, guys. So a couple of bits of wire, you know, quite easy. Just get some bends in this little guy. Won't be too much interest in this one, it's a bit small, but just get some bends in it. Bring it back in, nice and compact. This guy might come this way. Come back in on itself. The bonsai, I think, is all about creativity as well. And I really enjoy the creative side of creating trees and how trees will come up and be interesting and be a talking point. You know, when I can sit and look at a tree and just like admire the movement, the direction and the gnarliness of the trunk and try and imagine what created that, what made that tree look like that and develop like that, you know. So it's you know, that's what really captures my imagination. Now, have a look how nice and compact that all is. You can almost see a little tree in there now. You can actually, you really can. So imagine that's developed over 6 months to a year, and we come back and have a look. We can actually start eliminating some branches or looking, oh, that looks like the best looking shape for the tree, and that could be the best front, and that's when it's ready. So I could actually wire these guys because they're a bit small. That was where the apex was. So you could put a bit of wire on this as well and just get some twists, and I might do that. Just to finish off the job, things that you see as you work. Some more bends in that. It was a bit too straight. There you go. There you go. That looks like a mess, but I'm hoping some of you can probably now imagine, you know, that nice twisty tight little tree now can exist. I mean, I can already see a nice little mini in there already, but I want to see how we develop this over time, and it might develop into a bigger, better tree. Most likely not, but I want a nice short, you know, fat little mini out of this, I think, with nice twists and turns everywhere, and lots of interest. So I hope you enjoyed that. Keep working on your trees, keep working on building good bonsai stock for the future. I like doing videos on those because it teaches people do the right thing early with your trees, especially new people. You know, when you start out new, you know, you're not sure what to do, but you know, most trees you can do this with. You know, deciduous trees are a bit harder to do these twists and turns into them, but definitely your conifers, you can do this quite easily. Pines and junipers, easy peasy. Well, I hope you enjoyed this video. As always, please subscribe to get updates and notifications of new videos I put up. It's much easier doing it that way. Thank you, and talk to you next time. Bye.